Welcome back. Well, IDBI Bank is in focus. They had a board meeting yesterday and they are looking to raise money by diluting stake in some non-core businesses and looking at other ways of increasing their capital. Kishor Kharat, the Managing Director and CEO of IDBI Bank, has joined us on the phone line. Good morning, Mr. Kharat. Thank you very much for joining us. What are the decisions that were taken by the board yesterday? Where should we expect stake sales in your non-core category?
Non-core assets, if you recollect last 1.5 years, we have been actually talking about monetizing our non-core assets. So this monetization of non-core assets plan is actually it's a continuing basis. This year also last year also we monetized quite few of our non-core assets. This year also we have lined up few, and obviously we needed boards not for that.
Timetable and amount that you are looking for in FY18 itself?
FY18 we are expecting something around 5,000 crores.
5,000?
Yeah.
And what could be the timeline of this? I mean, are you looking at anything in the first half of the year, any quantum that we could look forward to?
No, we have already initiated in case of some of the non-core assets, but there are certain processes to be followed. And we have huge lineup of non-core assets which cannot be actually sold immediately. It has to go through various processes. Okay. So processes will take at least 3 to 6 months time. Okay. But timelines, if you ask me, definitely we would like to complete all that before September 18.
Okay. Mr. Kharat, good morning. Can you give us the names of the non-core investments that you are looking at, which are the low-hanging fruits right now?
No, because we have discuss about the names because these are all price-sensitive non-core assets.
No, I don't want to disclose. I don't want to disclose the price at which you want to sell, but if you could just tell us, the kind of assets that you're looking to sell.
It is better that I don't disclose even the type of asset also, but all of you know we have given this in various presentations also what kind of non-core assets we are sitting on. So one by one we are going to monetize all of that.
Sir, I want to place in before you some of the statements we got from government officials. They are unnamed government officials, and these were the statements. Government may have to work on a new strategy for IDBI Bank stake sale. The current strategy of finding big investors apparently is leading to some complications. Can you give us some more, can you throw some light on what is the changed strategy in terms of finding buyers for the government stake in IDBI?
Look here, this has been going on for quite some time. But if you really ask me, I won't be able to comment on what strategy government is thinking. One thing, the intent of the government, they have time and again made it clear that they would like to do the strategic sale of IDBI. We are also waiting for the strategy, what exactly strategy will come out of this. Various options what government is actually exploring, those also we are just awaiting.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the asset quality as well? Because, your bank is sitting on one of the highest gross NPAs at about 15%. We just heard from the Deputy Governor Viral Acharya yesterday that there is a two-pronged strategy put in place for NPA resolution. What did you make of that? And do you think that we could see any, respite in the asset quality of IDBI Bank over the next few quarters?
Let me tell you, the asset quality of IDBI Bank, actually, if you look at our asset, they are all in those sectors we are actually, which are actually under the tremendous pressure. These are the sectors, core sectors, particularly steel, power, textile, cement. We are heavily in the heavy industries as well as infrastructure. This is not the situation with other banks. We have been, because it was a development finance institute and these are we have taken the exposures at a large scale also in these industries. So unless these industries' economic situation, particularly in these industries, improves, our asset quality will remain under pressure. So that is continuing. We are hopeful that these segments, these sectors of economy will improve and then asset quality pressures can get released. Coming to Reserve Bank of India, they have been coming out with a lot of resolution mechanisms, but none of that is actually working. If you look at the pressures what bankers are feeling despite those resolution mechanisms. We need some kind of relaxations in those, whether it is a SDR, whether it is S4A, or even CDR. And we have been repeatedly requesting Reserve Bank of India to look into these all resolution mechanisms so that it can work. As on date, none of that is working. Particularly bankers are facing it's very difficult to use those tools for resolutions.
Okay, but are you getting a sense now that the cap that only 50% of sustainable debt will be allowed to be cut could be increased? They may tell you that if the bankers agree, even more than 50% of unsustainable debt can be written down?
No, in fact, what my personal opinion is that should be left to the banks to arrive at the percentages. If you throw something like 50% should be non-viable, then obviously even the viable units are coming and pitching for 50% non-viability and pushing it for a longer term.
Okay.
And secondly, when we do this non-viable, like for in the case of SDRs, let us say, now subsequently RBI came and told us to reverse the interest provision.
Yes.
Whatever we had done on SDR cases, unrealized interest, we have to reverse it. One side they are made us to reverse, other side that 18 months cap is still there. What we have realized, it takes, particularly in the bigger consortiums, it takes time for all the banks to get to the decision making.
Yes.
And then on the other side, that 18-month time is getting over. So account is becoming NPA.
Yep.
So either they should ask us to make the provisions and allow us, rather release that 18 months cap. Or extend it at least by another 6 months so that, we can reach some resolution.
Point taken, Mr. Kharat. I think right from the start, all the bankers were complaining that 18 months is not good enough to find a new promoter at all. But just finally, before we let you go, can we hear something positive from the bankers? After all, you have been working on the Bhushans and the SRs and the electro steels for such a long time now. Is there any resolution that we can expect in FY17 or at least in the first half of FY18?
No, all bankers, if you see, we are all actually working hard on getting these resolutions. But for these few technical issues which we are actually getting hit with, which we are actually talking to Reserve Bank of India, I think we have brought it to the even notice of the government officials also. And other day in the FM's meeting also, we requested that if these kind of resolutions are given, because it is ultimately in the interest of the economy. So we are expecting that at high level, some decisions will be taken, and then if some relief is given, particularly in these tools, we will definitely see in 17-18 some accounts getting resolutions.
All right, sir. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts on the NPA resolution as well as on the non-core asset sale.
Okay. Well, SP Tulsian joins in now to discuss some earnings as well. Mr. Tulsian, good morning.